Have you seen Teen Torture Incorporated on Max or the program on Netflix? And there's also a movie on Prime Video called Cold Water, which goes through the same thing these kids have went through, and it's the same type of structured program that I went through. Yeah, you heard that right. I went through what Teen Torture Incorporated talks about on Max. I'm fixing to tell you my story. Yeah, I tell you, for some of you went through, I'm sorry what you went through. I'm sorry the way some of the drill instructors treated y'all. But looking back on it now, I wouldn't trade that experience for nothing, because of what I went through. Why would us get sent to a place like that in the first place? That's step one. Because we acted up. We were so undisciplined, we disobeyed our parents that they did not know what to do with us. That's what happened with me. They're like, we can't take you anymore. We don't know what your problem is. We got lives we got to do. We got to ship you off somewhere so you can try to get right, and at least try to come back and be different. So that's why I went there. I was disobedient. I didn't know what I was doing. I was like 15, 14 at the time. I was starting out getting into all kinds of trouble. So they shipped us off to this school in Lucedale, Mississippi called Bethel Boys Academy. Now you can see behind it, the place in that road was where the barracks are, and the church was right there. That guy, Herman Fountain, who was a preacher there, it turns out he did some not so good things. The way I met him, he was a stern man. Didn't really know him that well, but after all I ever heard, I was like, wow. But that's where I went, Bethel Boys Academy, before they changed it to like 3 or 4 different names afterwards, and all the stuff that happened after that. See, I wasn't there when some of these stories were told in the Teen Torture. I don't know if it was after that. It may have been before that, but it's all torn down now and everything. But let me tell you what I went through. So I got there 14 or 15. I rolled up in the motorhome. They had to literally send one of the cadets, is what we were called, one of the young guys, to get me out of there. Go through the window in the city, because I had locked the doors. I did not want to stay there. I was like, what is this place? But anyway, they got me out of there. I went through the program. I was in the first barracks, there was Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, all that. Then afterward, they ended up putting, the office was straight down the road there. The chow hall was off to the right. There was a building up top. There was a back forward we used to go where we run and did everything. Then they put a new laundromat off to the side, and they had, I think Charlie or Alpha, one of those buildings were the ones with the blue pants and white shirts, the ones who went through and had got extended a level higher. We were just the guys with the camouflage pants and the white shirts, as you can see in that picture. And while I was there, you know me, I caused trouble. I like to piss people off, and that's what I did. Some of the drill instructors put their hands on me because I got a line, and I intentionally did that. It wasn't like they did it because they wanted to. Sometimes we got roughed up, but the main thing I remember is I was trying to cause problems. That's why I got my hands put on me. And if you know this guy, Chief Drill Instructor Knott, he's in there in the Teen Torture program. He's the black guy who's called Chief Drill Instructor. Now, all I can remember as of him, he was nice to me and a couple others. We actually got to go to his house. Yeah, you heard that. He took us all 3 different times because I don't know if we were on good behavior. And he took us in. Nothing happened. We stayed the night. And he took us to his church the next morning. But that's what I can remember. He was kind of nice to me. Though when I first got there, he put his hands on me because, what's your problem? I mean, I would probably try to piss him off too. But other than that, I know some people didn't like him. He did certain things. He's in prison now for what he did as cruel and unusual punishment to these boys after all this program, after I went through it and everything. Something happened. But all I can remember, he was nice to me. So I can't say anything bad about him when I met him. I mean, he was okay with me. But for some of y'all who went through, I'm sorry, because I don't know that. But on that, I do remember the Asian guy, and he's in the documentary there. He was a drill instructor, but he went through the program, and some things happened with him. But I remember when I first got there, he had in the school, there was a middle building that was a school, and he had his little apartment there off the left, and he snuck us out one day, and we played Need for Speed on the PlayStation. That guy, Stevenson, or whatever name, he was the coolest guy. He probably don't remember me now, but I remember him. Some of these drill instructors were actually nice and wanted to help us. There were some, they're just doing their job. So I really don't remember anything too bad. I've heard stories of boxing, pitting people against each other, all that stuff. But that was before or after I got there. My experience wasn't so bad, but what made it bad, I was making it bad. I was pissing people off. I was trying to do the worst. And I actually, now I've learned the discipline and everything. Even after all that, I went to the jail. I've spent time in prison. As you can see, I'll show you some photos and stuff. But I did all of that. That's to say, I am where I am now because of all that. And I probably wouldn't trade going through that because it gave me discipline. Now, your story may be different. It depends on what you're living for and who you're living for. I found someone I'm living for and just decided to do better all in all. I mean, it's around who your friends are. If you keep going back to the same people, the same crowd you run with, you're going to fall right back into the same stuff. But now, I'm working for myself. I'm doing things. I'm trying to be generous and help other people out. I live a totally different life than I lived back then. But I hope, as you can see, if you've watched those documentaries or you're a part of this, let me know in the comments if you went through those programs yourself, because I went through. Let me show you some photos. These pictures were taken when we got out on break, when we left the facility, Bethel Boys, and I got to go spend time with my family. Those were those pictures. Now, after I got out of the program, I fell back into old habits. I went to jail, prison. As you can see here, I did the program when I was in Bonham State Jail. I got my HVAC level 1. These are some of the certificates. I went to church. I did the Bible studies and all that, the cognitive intervention. This was when I went to TDJC. I got a 6-year sentence. I did 2.5, got out on parole, and I finished it all. I went to the HVAC. You can see me. We had big old glasses back then, the HVAC program. That was me. So even after I went through the structured Bethel Boys program, I still got in trouble because I hadn't learned my lesson yet. I went through prison. I committed deadly conduct, just started with a firearm. When I was 17, borderline, and they charged me as an adult. I was going back roads, smoking weed, shooting a .22 rifle off of cars and places. Just didn't give a care in the world. I didn't have no discipline, but I went through all that, the prison system, and I got a 6-year sentence, did 2.5 in the system, got out on parole, finished it. Yeah. So that's kind of my story, and now free and clear of all parole, any trouble. It's just now you make the decision to live for your parents, go back and try to obey your parents, because that's the important thing, and try to recorrect all the mistakes that you made in the past. You can do it. You don't have to fall into that same road. Once you start living for someone other than yourself, serving people other than yourself, and you get on the right track. You're like, life ain't all about me and my problems, because there's people that have it worse than what we do. So I hope this encourages you. Let me know if you watch those programs. That Coldwater movie on Prime Videos, that's like the exact thing, some things that we went through. Some people got harsh treatment just because of the way they were, and you had cadets over one another. It was just a weird system. It's a money-making machine. People misuse it. I don't know what it's like now. There's now rules in place in certain states, and some go unregulated, but that's just, when parents don't know what to do, they ship you off, and we should have did more research. They should, there's other ways to do that than just shipping your kid off. But for me, it was a learning experience. I can't say anything really bad happened to me because that was my experience. But it was good for me. I said I wouldn't trade going back and change nothing for nothing because it made me who I am today. But love you guys. And I still struggle with ADHD. I've got that, but that doesn't stop me. I'm going to breathe in a new mentality. I'm going to have a different mindset. Say I'm going to go get this thing. No matter when those depressive thoughts come, I'm going to get this is what helped me. I stay in the Word of God. I stay in the Word. I'm a follower of Yeshua. That's me. I'm a Christian now. So I'll follow that, and it's helped me guide my path. And man, I want to hear your stories. Let me know what you think.